You ever scroll through Instagram or YouTube and feel like everyone your age is already retired? They're 32, financially free, living on a beach, posting sunsets and stock portfolio screenshots like it's just normal life. And for a second, you wonder, did I mess up? Am I late? Should I have done something different in my 20s? You're not alone. I've had that thought. A lot of people do. But here's the truth. What you're seeing isn't the rule. It's the highlight reel. The idea of retiring in your 30s or 40s has become this viral fantasy. It looks amazing on camera. But the numbers? The real-life odds? That story's a little different. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you exactly how many people actually retire early, and more importantly, why it matters. Not to crush dreams, but to help you build a better one. Because early retirement isn't impossible, but it is misunderstood. And there's a reason most people chasing it never make the leap, even when they could. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and still not free, if you're wondering whether the FIRE movement is a financial blueprint or just a social media show, this is the video you've been waiting for. Let's get into it. The dream of early retirement didn't start on TikTok. It began with spreadsheets, blogs, and a single idea. What if you didn't have to work until you're 65? Back in the early 2010s, a few finance nerds, mostly engineers, coders, and DIY investors, started sharing how they were saving 50%, sometimes 70% of their income, investing it aggressively, and planning to retire in their 30s or 40s. It was called FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early, and it hit the internet like a spark on gasoline. The promise was powerful. Total freedom. No boss, no alarm clocks, no soul-sucking meetings. Just time to live life your way. The movement gained momentum, spreading through blogs, Reddit forums, YouTube videos, and now Instagram and TikTok. And it wasn't just a fantasy, it worked for a select few. But here's the thing. For every FIRE success story, there are thousands grinding it out, wondering why they're still stuck. Which brings us to what most people never hear, the reality behind the hype. Let's kill the fantasy for a second and look at the facts. In the US, less than 1% of people retire in their 30s. In their 40s, about 1 to 2%. Even by the early 50s, we're still only talking about 6 to 11%. That means 90% plus of people are working well into their 60s, and the majority don't even hit financial freedom before Social Security kicks in at 62. The average American doesn't retire early. Not because they're lazy or undisciplined, but because the system wasn't designed for it. Costs are high, incomes are stretched, and the mental, emotional, and financial weight of saving half your paycheck, that's a mountain. So why does early retirement look so common online? Why it feels like everyone's doing it? Simple, the people who retire early, they're the loudest. They're the ones starting podcasts, writing blogs, making videos, going viral. And it's not their fault. When you've done something rare and difficult, you should share it. But it creates this illusion, especially for people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, that everyone is winning except you. It's the same reason Instagram makes you think everyone has abs, a Tesla, and perfect vacations. It's a visibility bias. The quiet majority, the ones still working, still saving, still trying, they're not making content about it. And here's the kicker. Some of those so-called early retirees, they're still earning, running businesses, freelancing, selling courses, and that's fine. But let's stop pretending that quitting a 9-to-5 and launching a 6-figure YouTube channel is the same as true retirement. It's not. It's flexible work. And for many, that's the actual goal. More freedom, more control, not a permanent vacation. Let's talk about what rarely gets shown in the highlight reel, the sacrifices. Retiring early isn't just about saving money. It's about giving up comfort now for freedom later. That means living below your means while your friends are upgrading homes, going on trips, or buying new cars. It means skipping out on dinners, saying no to things you want, and sticking to a plan that sometimes feels like it's taking all the joy out of life. It's also a mental game. Watching your peers advance in careers, climb corporate ladders, and celebrate milestones while you're counting pennies for a better future, that's not easy. Not everyone can or wants to do that. And let's not forget the lifestyle trade-offs. Early retirement often means saying goodbye to health insurance from work, paying for your own benefits, and dealing with unexpected costs from your own pocket. It's not quit and chill, it's quit and be ready for anything. And the truth is, for many people, the emotional cost outweighs the reward, which leads us to a hard question. What retired actually means today? Here's something people rarely admit. Most early retirees aren't actually retired. They've quit their full-time jobs, sure, but they're still working, just differently. They might be freelancing, running online businesses, selling digital products, teaching, consulting, making content. They're earning money but calling it freedom. And that's not wrong. In fact, it might be the real dream for most people, to choose how you earn, when you work, and who you work with. But we need to stop calling that retirement. It's not retirement, it's redesign. Retirement today isn't a finish line. It's a transition. For some, it's stepping away from the 9 to 5. For others, it's scaling back, doing more meaningful work, or just reclaiming time. Whatever it is, we need to be honest about what retired means now, because the old definition doesn't fit anymore. Back in the day, retiring at 60 meant living maybe 10 to 15 more years. Now, you might live another 25, even 30 years, and that's just average. Longevity sounds great, until you realize you have to fund it. Add to that skyrocketing housing, healthcare, and education costs, and it's no wonder people are struggling. The personal savings rate in the U.S.? It's barely hovering around 3 to 6%. Compare that to the 20 to 50% savings FIRE advocates aim for, and the gap is massive. Worse, most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Financial stress is high, and even those who want to retire early often can't save enough. The math just doesn't work when inflation keeps climbing and wages stay flat. And yet, people still dream about it. Why? Because the alternative feels even worse. Working until you physically can't. But even for those who save aggressively, there's still one last roadblock. One more year syndrome and the fear of letting go. If you've hit your goal, you've saved the number, you've run the simulations, you're ready to retire early, but you don't. This is what's known as one more year syndrome. And it's more common than you think. The logic is seductive. Just one more year means one more year of income, safety, and cushion. You think, I'll feel more secure with a little more. And then it happens again and again. And sometimes people never actually make the leap. It's not just about the money, it's the identity. For decades, your job has defined who you are, your routine, your purpose. Letting go of that is scary. Plus, let's be honest, the idea of not working for the next 40 years, that's intimidating. What if the market crashes? What if healthcare costs explode? What if you get bored? That fear can paralyze people, even the financially ready. But here's the twist. That fear isn't failure, it's a signal. It means you're human. And it means early retirement isn't just a financial journey, it's an emotional one too. Lean, coast, barista. Realistic paths to freedom. Here's what most people get wrong about FIRE. It's not all or nothing. You don't have to retire at 35 and move to the mountains to win at this game. There are flavors of financial independence. Customizable paths that actually work in real life. Lean FIRE means living ultra-frugally, retiring with just enough to cover the basics. It's freedom, but with tight constraints. Coast FIRE is powerful. You save and invest heavily early on, then coast later. Once your investments are working hard, you don't have to. And then there's Barista FIRE. You semi-retire and work part-time doing something low-stress or passion-driven, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Now, let's be honest. The people who retire early? Many had advantages. Some they earned, some they didn't. Maybe they had high-income careers in tech or finance. Maybe they got help from family or inherited property. Maybe they didn't have student loans. Maybe they got lucky with timing. That doesn't take away from their effort. But if you're comparing your journey to theirs without seeing the full context, you're playing a losing game. That said, some did it from scratch. No help, no head start, just ruthless focus and discipline. But they all had to sacrifice time, comfort, convenience, and often relationships. That's the real currency of early retirement, not just dollars, and not everyone's willing to trade it. So what's the takeaway here? It's not that early retirement is fake, it's that it's rare. And that's okay, because you don't need to retire at 35 to win. You just need options. Imagine being debt-free by 40, or having enough saved to walk away from a toxic job, or take a sabbatical, or start your own thing. That's freedom too. So ask yourself, what would financial independence mean for you? Maybe it's buying back your time. Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's the ability to say no to anything that drains you. You don't need to go viral. You just need a plan, one that fits your life, your values, your goals. And if you're steadily saving, investing, and thinking long term, you're already winning. Here's the truth. Most people won't retire early, but that doesn't mean you can't have freedom. The FIRE movement lit a spark, but it's up to you to define what that fire fuels. Not everyone wants a beach life in their 30s. Some just want peace by 50, or stability by 60, or the ability to help their kids in ways they never got. And that's powerful. This isn't about chasing someone else's dream. It's about building a life on your terms. That's what financial freedom really is. So wherever you're at, keep going. Stay focused. You don't have to retire early to live richly. If you got value from this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Golden Goals, and drop a comment below. What does freedom mean to you? I'm Mike, and I'll see you in the next one.